How's it going, ladies and Bruce? Up, I'll be Sixkilla and welcome back to Danganronpa TH8. It is time for the third class trial, so settle in, sit back for a long haul. Probably 3 episodes worth. Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation and they were gathered at the red door. As soon as they were all there...
Monokuma appears!
Oh no. He multiplied?
Wrong.
Nope, not multiplication, just looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it only looks like I multiplied. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma?
Whew.
Can we just get in the elevator already?
Boy, tough crowd.
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
I'm not here to play with you.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Hey!
And if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please!
I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already, I didn't do it, for serious. That reminds me. Did you ever find the other costume or the note? Well, no, but... How unfortunate. It seems we have our culprit. We found the note.
Hey.
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first. Then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the 2 who lost their lives. And the one who killed Hifumi and Taka. The one who killed 2 of our friends. The killer is... someone right here. We just don't know which one. I took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. I began to walk toward the elevator. Once everyone was aboard... Alright, here we go. The doors closed on their own, and the steel box began to move. I always look forward to these, I must admit, but also dread them because they're so massive and long. The clanking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled this, we couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator doors slid open, opening up onto a cruel fate. Ooh, it's different. When I see all of you gathered like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only because of you. Why? Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
What? You really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me, of course I'm going to start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. I would totally do that. I probably have to you before. Apologies. Sorry, not sorry, really. And so, the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. It's a rock. Rock out with your cock out. Oh, what skills are we gonna set? We don't have any new skills, do we? Increase the focus gauge by 2? I mean, that would be good, I guess. I don't really use it, to be honest. We really don't have a lot of abilities, huh? I feel like I haven't been getting to know my friends very well. Let's just get into it. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
I know, we've done this before.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one,
Yo, Monokuma, do you see that above your head over there? It says case 3. We've done this twice before.
then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with,
We already know who did it.
was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprint for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
We have to be sure, though, otherwise we all die, remember?
It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or... Before anything else, we have to make that clear. No, of course not. He's an idiot. He's an idiot, but he's not a killer. Yet, anyway.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
What else we got?
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Looking at the blueprints, that handwriting is awfully messy.
Everything
good
we
point.
found in your room. The blueprints, the suit part.
The blueprints.
No, that's wrong. Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that.
Then he'd
I
put it in
think.
a different room, wouldn't he?
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of
Yeah,
trying
exactly.
to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course he passed it off to me.
Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
I don't know. The suspicious individual in question. The one that must have been in the suit.
I got
Hiro.
it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
I hope so.
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Let's.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
They make him
So
angry.
what
You
is
wouldn't like
it?
him when he's
What
angry.
needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
The dolly. Taka's body was
It
transported
would
with the
seem
dolly.
that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
The tarpaulin and the dolly.
I got it!
There's still one more thing. The top.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with that attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room.
Yes.
So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly.
And one of the tops.
Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body?
It's covered in blood as
That
well.
dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't
There's tire
realize
tracks
it?
on the ground in the blood. There's blood on the wheels.
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
What the fuck?
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
I knew it was you. Never heard anyone sound so nice while being so mean. Maybe I can change your mind. I could just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. Bullet time battles. Oh god. Not more things. Reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen underneath the tempo mark, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. Now it'll cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the tab key. Just like locking on, you have to press tab key and the tempo marker. Basically, just remember that the tab key now has a function along with the right mouse button and left mouse button. It will automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. But if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all, in which case you ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. Can't you just tell me that if the action thing is set to gentle, which it isn't?
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere.
I can't get in time with
Do
it.
your worst, you miserable wretch.
I never really understood how to
You
do this.
miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. I cannot agree.
I have 1 heart left.
This should prove it.
I have 1 heart left.
If you're
As long as I
asking
don't
for
fuck
proof
anything
that
up,
the
we should be
dolly
alright.
moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Sure.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
You can't bend over. What does he mean by that? You can't bend over. It doesn't bend in the middle. You have to bend over to move the dolly. He already said that.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Whoops.
Shoot!
Alright, well, we only had one heart left and we had to lose. I gotta get used to that tempo game, I really do. And I guess I gotta wait until all the arguments come through before I click on something. I mean, we already know why you can't use the Robo Justice costume.
Room. And from there, the body was moved
I
to
just
the
wait all the way
repository,
through.
correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then
Nice and
loaded it
relaxing.
onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
I pressed the wrong button.
No, it's wrong.
No, it's right. She's right.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
Blood is a bit in here. I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're
You
ready
can't
to
take
move
the
the
suit off.
body?
There's absolutely no chance that the costume is taken off because you can't take it off by yourself.
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. Little help? Why would you make something you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. Looks pretty steady. I don't think you can get it off on your own. You don't really have a choice. Let's help him. That means he can't put it on his own either.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
That's because it's you. You're the culprit, Celeste. I know it's you. I know it's you.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is
bet it's
not
a
the
filter.
culprit, how
It's a
do you
Snapchat
explain
filter.
that?
Your camera has Snapchat
Besides,
filters.
Do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How'd you get hit? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo-Justice. So I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
In case we all die?
Instead of
Yeah.
seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. So we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving
I felt
the
like
nurse's
Celeste was dodgy the
office-
whole way through, setting us on a wild goose chase. What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
And she'd already killed Tucker at 6. Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down the hallway and disappeared.
and then,
She's the only one who's seen him, apart from Hifumi, who's dead. What was that? Came from downstairs, it must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad, come on, we have to go back.
at that point we decided to divide up into 2 groups.
You think Hifumi is Celeste's accomplice? Those two had a thing going on, you know?
Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office,
They had a thing.
while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Celeste and Hifumi somehow did this, and then framed Hiro.
Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time,
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository.
Again, she found the bodies in a room that was locked.
Which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
She's so dodgy in this one.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of the case, I have to find them no matter what. Alright, here we go. Monokuma File 3, huh? It just says they were hit the head with something.
Regarding Taka's death,
Go.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
It was before.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Justice Hammers were numbered, but are they really used in that order? Yeah, that doesn't prove anything.
Regarding
If I
Taka's death,
number my knives, does that mean I
wonder
have
if
to
he
use them in
died
that order?
before Hifumi. Or perhaps
Can we take
perhaps
this
it was after?
order one? Maybe?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
No, that's wrong.
I've already failed once, so we're gonna fail again already.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
Why would there be? That's fucking ridiculous to even assume that.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order?
They could be just sized. The 4 one was bigger than the 3 one, which is bigger than the 2 one. Maybe it's just to mark its size.
But in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. The watch. Wristwatch. Give me a C, homie. And an H would be lovely. Shazam! Can I get a heart back now? Come on, I've been good. Give me a heart back. Come on.
I've got it! Taka's wristwatch. See? Look! It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
Hey you, how long are you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if
Near
that's
enough.
true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those Justice Hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Huh? What was that? I came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we gotta get back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko.
I
Then
think
we all ran down to the
Hifumi did it
nurse's
to
office,
himself.
and that's
For
where we found
Celeste.
his body.
Because he's not dead.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct?
He moved himself, that's why. That's why he didn't need a tarp or anything.
And then there's the disappearance
That's
of
what I
Taka's
think anyway.
body
God,
from
I'm
the
sticking with
equipment
this.
room.
This is my theory.
At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
How could she...
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now,
So
Kyoko?
for now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to
We'll
what
see if I'm
Celeste
right now.
said,
We couldn't have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Thank you.
The dead body moved on its own?
He wasn't dead, remember? You cried on him and he woke up.
No, not another ghost.
Thank you, Kyoko. I feel
I
vindicated.
don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is
He wasn't dead, and he locked the, whatever the name of that room was, door from the inside until Celeste asked him to unlock
we
it.
thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
For you. That's why you're not willing to accept it. The idea that Hifumi was still alive. Is it really possible? Alright, we are onto something. I knew it. I knew it. Fucking knew it. Broken wristwatch. How does that help? What are we doing with that?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Yes.
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know
You
that
would say
how?
that. Yeah.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us.
I know it was you,
Hifumi's dead
Celeste.
body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I'm sure the body discovery announcement was only made once. Oh.
Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
We need to wrap this one up
Are
anyway.
we really
After
so
this.
sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Is that not right either? Dead body had been found, someone else's discovery. I don't understand what you want from me then. That seems like it should be right?
So sure about that?
Maybe just do the same one but
Maybe
the other way
the
around.
announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Like, I don't understand why it would make any difference if it was the same
Are
words
you
but the other way
saying that
around,
when we
but
first
shit, maybe it
found
will, I don't
Hifumi in
know.
the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
If that's the case,
No.
then that's super dumb,
It is
by the way.
impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been...
No,
It does work the other way around. Okay, cool. Glad I'm not going insane then. Works
Was
one
the
way, but
body
not the other.
discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we
She's
discovered
making
his
it look
body.
really obvious that it's her, you know?
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's
She keeps
body was
defending
found.
the hero
That's
being the
right.
one who did it.
It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement, first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office in the equipment room. Second time was when... just after Hifumi came back to life.
Shoot!
Nope, fuck that up. Man, I'm just losing hearts like nobody's business.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository.
Got half a
when
heart
we
back.
rediscovered the 2 bodies.
A body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time. But it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in
He
the
wasn't
nurse's
dead.
office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know, because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
The fact that he woke up.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body.
Yes, we should do that, but we should do that in the next episode because we're out of time for today. We're going to cut this one off here and we'll continue the trial in the next one. Till then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next episode.